Hi, welcome to Teach With Me. I am Miss Jen. Today we're going to be doing the next letter in our A to Z Directed Draw series. We are on the letter W. We are drawing a whale today. This one is pretty easy and I think the kids will enjoy it. You're going to need a felt tip marker. You're going to need a white printer paper, a piece of lined paper for the kids to do the writing on, and their crayons. Let's begin. All right, so you want the kids to turn their papers horizontally normally. Today though, we need to start our picture on the vertical. So you're going to tell the kids to turn their paper vertical for just a moment. We're going to start on the end of the paper. Oops, let me flip this. Sorry about that. We're going to start on the end of our paper at the right side, the right end. And what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make a curved V like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring that around, but we're not going to connect it and we're not going to close it up. We're going to make another curve that goes outward. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to leave a gap. So you want to look at your kids' tail fins to make sure that they're correct before you move on. Then you're going to turn your paper back horizontally and we're going to finish our whale. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to tell them to go up to the top of that tail fin that we did, and we're going to dip it down a little and then dip it, curve it around. We're going to go almost to the end of the front of the paper and curve it to almost to the bottom, and we're going to stop it right about halfway. Now, you might want to tell the boys and girls to do it with their finger first, where they think they're going to make it go. And that's a good strategy. That's a good strategy because it gives them a visual before they begin. All right, so once they have it here, all they're going to do is they're going to make a little oval. And then they're simply going to take the tail where it ended before. We're going to connect this, but we're not going to go across it to the fin. We're going to connect it and connect it to where the other tail fin ended. All right, now this doesn't look much like a whale yet, but it will. So come down here. Sorry, I was working in my garden today. Come down here to the front and we're going to make a smiley face. And then above the smiley face, we are going to make a circle with sort of an eye flap here. And I'll show you when we color it what it's going to look like, how it'll look. And then above it, we're going to make an eyebrow. Now, whales do not actually have eyebrows, but this is cute. Now, above on the top part of his head, we're going to make his spout. And this is how I'm going to draw his spout. I'm going to start by making a small, like little curl on the one side, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Then I'm going to go above it and make a bigger one, and I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side, and then again a bigger one. And this is just how I envision it. You can make it however you want. If you want to do a spout that just simply comes out here, let me draw another one and I'll show you. You can draw spouts lots of different ways. You can make your spout look like, here are some ideas I just drew right now. Little droplets, you know, like little ovals. You could do kind of the same idea of what I did going left to right or going straight up. And some of you who are more artistic than I am probably have some different ideas. But this is how I drew mine. All right, now I'm not finished quite yet. Let me just show you how I colored it and what I did for the background. So for the background, I'm going to, I need to color the eye in completely because that really gives the whale some character. I'm going to leave that little white flap on his eye here in the front. And then when I go to color this, I'll go over this with my black crayon just to make sure all the little spots are colored in except for that part. All right, and then in the water, because obviously he's swimming in the water, I'm just going to make some little, whoops, I didn't mean to go over his tail, make some little wave lines. And then this is how I colored it. It's simply gray whale and I traced it with the black, but if you don't like how that looks, if you don't want to trace it with the black, You can do it without, and I did that one, this one without. And the water is blue, and I used a different shade of blue for the water currents. All right, so now if you have been following along with me, you know that with every one of the drawings, every one of the directed draws, we also include a writing, because this is for kindergarten, and I believe that writing needs to be done every single day. This one is not for phonics instruction. This is for understanding sentence structure, grammar, punctuation, where we put spacing and so forth. So let's begin. The first sentence says W is for whale. Understanding that I use different colors because I write this on my whiteboard behind my small group table where I work with the kids with this, and this gives the kids a visual to help them figure out where they are in their writing. So the first sentence everyone does is W is for, and then whatever picture we've just drawn. So I'm going to do this along with you. And W is for whale. And then if they make mistakes as they're doing this, of course I'm going to correct it, and I'm going to do it in a very positive way. I'm going to say, that is a great job. I think we need to make this letter though look like, you know, and then whatever my sample. So I'm going to do it really positive. I'm going to give them a happy feedback and then a constructive feedback. All right, and then I'm going to say, oh, you finished your black sentence. You are now on the blue sentence. My blue sentence started on the same line as my black sentence. Do you have room to do that also? And so giving them those questions so that they can figure it out for themselves is really important. And so they'll say, yes, yes, we do. I say, look, you have a little more room. I wonder if you have room to write your next word. It's a small word. And they'll say, oh, well, yes, I do. Oh, excellent job. Whales are, and I want them reading it as we do it, and I'm going to be saying it constantly. You've written W is for whale. Whales are, let's see where we're at here. Whales are mammals. Mammals. I don't have room here, so where am I going to start the next one? And hopefully they tell me over here on the left side, because this also gives us that print awareness, that practice understanding that we write and read left to right. This time I'm introducing a comma. Again, I said, oh, we have a comma here. Let's go ahead and put a comma. I'm not necessarily going to teach them the purpose of the comma, this kind of comma, because it's not in a list, and this is not a kindergarten standard to understand, to put it between clauses and stuff. That's not something I'm going to teach them yet. That's too confusing. But they've been introduced to commas before in some of the other things, and so I want them to know the name of it so that when they do begin to use it in, you know, first, second, third grade, they're going to know what a comma is. All right, so now we're on the red sentence, and it says, did you know whales are very intelligent? And the little period should be under my question mark. Sorry, that's a little, let me fix that. That's a little annoying. Ta-da, the magic of the pause button. Okay, I'm going to say, this sentence says, did you know whales are very intelligent? And I'm going to say, where am I going to start that sentence? Do I still have room here? And they'll say, oh, you do. All right, so I'm going to tell them, all right, start your sentence there because you still have that space. And I'm going to be watching to make sure they have, that they're putting their correct spacing, and if they're not, I'm going to have them erase it, and I'm going to, in a very polite and happy tone, I'm going to just explain why. And my reason for teachers to fix things immediately is because it is much, much harder to unlearn a bad habit than to just learn it correctly the first time. But what you have to do is you have to create that environment where they are happy to try. If you shut them down in a harsh way, they're going to be too afraid to try, and you don't want that. All right, well, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. We have 3 more letters. I'm going to try to finish them all this week because I have so many other lesson ideas. But anyway, if you found this content helpful, please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time.